Shalom. This is Minister Sarah Abraham Israel coming to you with a message about kingdom marriages. I had a dream 2 nights ago about my kingdom husband. And yes, I have been married to him before. That's how I know he's my kingdom husband. A love like no other. No one could ever compare. And on one of my previous messages, 2 messages ago, I actually go into the whole explanation of how a lot of us have been with our kingdom spouse in this lifetime. We've been in a relationship with them, but we had to separate from them for a while. We had to separate from our kingdom spouse for a while so that God could get us together, so he could get our kingdom spouse together, build us up, get us mature in him. And the Lord had to get us to where we're following after God and not following after our kingdom spouse as if we're idolizing them. So the Lord has had us separated for a while, but now we're coming back together collectively. God's people are coming back together with our kingdom spouse as one. Well, this dream that I had, I saw my kingdom spouse, and the scene, let me just set the scene for you. So I was standing on a street and I saw him approaching me, but he didn't see me at first because he was looking down. His countenance it was kind of like there was a cloud. Like if you think about like a rainy day and right before it rains, it's gray in the sky and it's cloudy. That's how his mood was. He was walking normal, everything like that, but just the mood around him was just cloudy, like a gray cloud. Like he wasn't happy. He was like in a more of a sad kind of mood, and he was just walking along, just drifting, kind of walking. And so he wasn't really paying attention, and he walked up towards me, and just as he approached me, he looked up and saw that it was me. And in this dream, we didn't even speak verbally at all. All of our communication was just eye contact and knowing each other telepathically. That's how we were communicating. We weren't even using words, but I knew exactly what he was thinking. He knew exactly what I was thinking. And I immediately, as soon as I saw him, even in this dream, we had been separated for a while and we just came back together and we were both surprised. I was walking down the street. I didn't know he was there. He was walking up the street. He didn't know I was there, but we almost walked into each other until he looked up. And the communication that we had with each other was as if we never missed any time. It was as if we were together the whole time. And when he looked up and he looked at me, through my eyes, I immediately showed him that I loved him and that I accepted him instantly, immediately, without him even speaking. And I know that is the Spirit of the Lord. Trust me on that. That is 100% the Holy Spirit. Because women, we like to talk. We want to talk about everything. We want to talk about where you've been, what you're doing, what you're going next. There was none of that. I was just like as if he was walked out the house and then came back in. It was just like that. It was like we were together the whole time, even though there had been for sure a long amount of time between the time that I saw him and the time that he saw me in this dream. Even though there was a big distance in time, when he walked up towards me, it was like we were together the whole time. I didn't feel any distance from him as far as that. Like it was an instant connection. He walked up to me and he saw me, and the way that he was looking at me he was very, very humble. He almost like he was about to cry. He was so humble, and it was the Spirit of the Lord on him because he wasn't like that before when we were together. The kind of humility that he had is the kind that comes from the Lord. It's the kind of humility where you've been spending time with the Lord and you know that the Lord has carried you through everything and you would never make it without him. And you're just grateful to be alive and breathing. That's how he approached me. That's how the mood that he was in. And I saw that through his eyes without him even saying one word. He didn't have to say anything. I instantly knew how he was and what he was thinking and what he was feeling. And so he was so humble and he had so much humility that I thought he was about to cry. And I, as he looked up, I hugged him. I reached out and I hugged him, and he hugged me back like a really big hug. And I remember just the mood around us, it lightened. It was almost like, it was like sunshine. It was like a light that I could feel on us. I didn't feel the cloudiness anymore. There was no more of the cloudiness, the gray that I saw before. It was brighter now once we connected. And from then on, we were together. We were inseparable. And then the dream kind of faded away after that part. But from that moment, we were together. And what the Lord brought to me through that message is that this message is for God's people who are waiting for their kingdom spouse to come home. The ones who you've never met your kingdom spouse and you're waiting on your kingdom spouse to come. And the ones who we've been with our kingdom spouse and we're waiting to be reunited with our kingdom spouse. This specifically is for if you've already been with your person and you're waiting to be reunited with them. This part. It's whatever happened between you, because we know some drama went down for most people. We know that there was probably a lot of pain, a lot of sadness, a lot of things that went down in that relationship. But where the Lord is bringing us to now is a place of healing and restoration. And he showed it to me because I keep hearing everywhere, like you can't even turn on YouTube or TikTok or or Instagram or whatever the platforms are. You can't even turn on one of those without scrolling through and hearing a message of somebody talking about restoration. It's everywhere. But the Lord brought this personally to me. That was 100% directed towards me, but I know that it applies to other people. That's why I'm releasing this message. But he gave me a direct message. The Lord gave me a direct message on restoration that I can relate to and share with other people. And what it is that when your kingdom spouse returns, you're probably going to want to have the tendency to talk about everything that they went through, who they saw, where they've been, all of that. You're probably going to have the tendency to do all that. And it makes sense. It's logical. It's reasonable. It makes sense. But what also the Lord is leading me, even me personally, this message is for me as well. Let me just say that I'm preaching this to myself also. The Lord knows I need a message. That's why he has me release messages sometimes. He knows I need a message too. So he'll send me a message, have me release it, and then I listen back to it and I get the word too. So it's not just me telling you, I'm under the covering of this word too from the Lord. So what the Lord wants us to do is to, especially for the women, what the Lord wants us to do is he wants you to have a tenderness with your husband, even more than you had before. Because at this point, the reason that he's telling us this, the reason that the Lord is telling us this is because your husband has been through a lot. He's been through so many things that have humbled him that he probably doesn't want to talk about yet. And he's probably still processing and still working through and still trying to heal from. And if you come at him with 50 questions, it might make him shut down emotionally. He might want to connect with you, but it might shut him down emotionally. And even though, yes, there is a time and a place to get the answer to everything, and you will get all of those. You will get all the answers. You will find out everything that you want to know, but you might just want to baby step into it. Maybe don't ask him 50 questions all at once, maybe one or two, or just, reserve it for, a week or two or a month or something. Just give him a minute to get reacclimated with your energy and to align with you and to connect with you first on a husband to wife level first. And then let the questions, step into them. You can ease into the questions from there. That's just a suggestion that will really help you to connect with him, because women are different than men as far as the talking. Most men don't love talking as much as women do. Women, we can talk all day, every day for hours about everything, what we ate, what we saw, what we wore, everything all day long. And men aren't necessarily that big of a talker. And so just be sensitive to where he is emotionally, because This world has tried to break your husband down, especially the Black man, especially the Latin man, which is really a Black man, but he's been colonized, especially the men of God have been cut down by the world, talked down to, degraded, everything. Everything has been against them in this life. And so when he's coming back to you, it might seem like he's still wounded because he's healing, and it takes a while to heal. So just be sensitive to that. That would help you. It will help you a lot if you're sensitive to him, and he'll be able to be more receptive to you as you're being patient with him. And also, if you're having a hard time with that, 100% go right to the Lord and pray to the Lord and ask him how to give you a heart of tenderness towards your husband. And this is for me as well. I'm praying for this for me too. So the Lord will help you to have a tenderness with your husband. And you don't even have to be like this with anybody else. You can be like this with your husband. It's a safe place between you and your husband. So go to the Lord and ask him to lead you and to guide you in what to say, when to say it, how to say it, all of that, so that you can build your husband back up. He's already been broken down. Our role as kingdom women, the role of a woman of God is to build her husband up. That's her first ministry. It's to build him up, to let him lead. Of course, he has to be submitted to God. That's number one. He does have to be submitted to God because that's how you can follow him. But the tenderness that you have towards him greatly, greatly helps him in developing a relationship with the Lord, and also strengthening the relationship with the Lord, because he's going to see the way that you're loving him and the way that you're making him priority in your life. And he's going to want God to be a part of your marriage to help lead him, because he needs help in leading you, and he needs the Lord to help him lead you. So the very best thing you can do is go to God in prayer about your marriage, about your husband, about your restoration, and about having tenderness towards your husband. So I think I'll go ahead and wrap this message up now. So until next time, shalom and be blessed.